With the 2024 Royal Rumble now complete, the road to WrestleMania has become a little bit more clear, and we kind of have an idea of what's about to happen come WrestleMania 40. So if you're like me, you just watched the Royal Rumble, and I came out of it a little bit underwhelmed, right? I think, judging from what happened in these matches, I think the women's match was a little better than the men's. The championship match was very good. For the Universal title and the United States Championship match, I kind of just, after the two matches, which I'm going to go over, and the order that these matches were in, which is a little questionable, but you understood it to begin with. One of the United States title match I really wasn't into, and it just sucks for those guys because they did put on a good show. So I'm just going to run over these matches as they happened and the order that they went in. And the 2024 Royal Rumble now ending. We started with the Women's Royal Rumble match to kick off the show at Tropicana Field. And just right off the bat, Bayley wins the Women's Royal Rumble. So very excited about that. Much deserved. And it's somebody who's starting to build a little bit of a face reaction with the crowd over the last few months. And with her and Damage Control kind of coming to a sort of an impasse right now, Bayley is on the road to WrestleMania to become the face, to face Io Sky and win the Women's Championship. And I think this is going to be a good turn for her career. She's been a heel long enough, and she doesn't have to go back to that initial face run with the pop-up dolls and all that other stuff that she came out with, but maybe some sort of a face where she's not as campy, but a little more fun, and she's got all the tools to do it. So, in this one was pretty entertaining, right? Excuse me. We had the Natalya coming out at number 1. Her record break. She's been in every Royal Rumble now, so I think that's seven straight. She's been in every single one, so she's been a mainstay of the Rumble. You like to see her come out at number 1 to get the recognition of all that, and then at number 2, welcome back Naomi. Right? Everybody, the rumors were flying that Naomi was leaving TNA. She had left TNA. Her contract ran out. And the rumors were hot and heavy. There were also other rumors of other people coming back that we'll get into that did not show up. But Naomi coming out at number 2, the crowd gave her an amazing reaction to the point where she seemed like she was going to be in tears. So, and then she went out to put on a really good show. And it was really good. And then at number 3, the eventual winner, Bayley, comes out. She goes the entire distance and wins the Royal Rumble. Some standouts here, obviously, with Jordynne Grace, the TNA Knockout Women's Champion. I love that WWE and TNA are doing the work now, and hopefully in the future they could do more of this kind of stuff. Maybe some sort of little like mini invasion type angles where they can kind of work together, and they could maybe do some of those out of the box stuff that wasn't happening here for a very, very long time. So hopefully that's the case. And a few people like Candice LeRae, Katana Chance, a lot of them came out, put on a nice little show. Asuka came out at 7, which Bayley was not happy about. She wanted this as the only non-title holder in Damage Control. Bayley kind of wanted this to be about her. So she eventually accepted the situation of what was going on, but, she kind of wanted this to be on her own, right? Bianca Belair comes out at number 10. Immediately puts on a show to a big reaction. She goes straight after Damage Control. And Kairi Sane comes in right after that to kind of get a little hold on Bianca. So that was kind of the case with Damage Control's main story within the Rumble, which was Bayley kind of wanted to do it on her own, and then old Damage Control comes out and tries to help her out. Chelsea Green comes out at number 14. She was pretty Chelsea Green's becoming like a big comedy. She's doing a good comedy role with the WWE now, where she came in last year at the Rumble. She lasted 5 seconds. So when she came in this year, she made it known that she lasted way more than 5 seconds, which she did. She put on a pretty good showing. And she's actually becoming a nice comedy break when it comes to the WWE. So Nia Jax comes out at number 19. And Nia Jax put on a little bit of a show. She eliminated, I think, 8 people in this Royal Rumble, which was amazing. And obviously, number 21, crowd started to kind of get a little dull for a second. And 21, Becky Lynch comes out, gets the crowd right back on their feet. And then Nia Jax and Becky Lynch went at it for a little bit. And then the funniest part of this entire night, probably, R-Truth comes out at number 24, thinking that it's the men's Royal Rumble. So he thought he was coming out to face in the men. He comes out, he goes one-on-one with Nia Jax, and she tosses him out of the ring. It was a really funny spot. It was a real good breaker for the crowd. And what I found to be personally the most exciting part of the Women's Rumble was the debut of Jade Cargill. Finally, Jade Cargill she's been in the WWE, but finally now we get to see her perform, and she did not disappoint. She was outstanding in this Rumble. She came out to a huge ovation from the crowd down in Florida. Cargill went straight for Nia Jax, lifted up Nia Jax, threw her over the top rope. Amazing show from her. And, with the final fight, and then actually, I'm sorry, Tiffany Stratton debuting in the Rumble at number 29. Kind of underlooked a little bit because Cargill came out at 28, so Stratton came out at 29. Tiffany Stratton's no pushover. This is probably one of the fastest rising women in NXT. She's already risen to the point where she has the tools already to be called up to the main roster, but it's good that they're not doing it just yet, right? So, and again, 28, 29, and 30 being a lot of people who thought this was going to be AJ Lee. A lot of people thought this was going to be Sasha Banks, and it turned out to be neither, and it turned out to be Liv Morgan returning from her injury / running with the Popo down in Florida. So she came out at 30. She put on a good show as well. And the final elimination with Cargill and Bayley and Liv at the apron, and Liv hitting Cargill off the rope, and then Bayley pushing out Liv Morgan, and then Bayley finally winning the Royal Rumble. Much deserved. So if that, I'm not giving out grades, but I'd give that Rumble like an A-. And it was a really fun match to watch for the most part. Then going into the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, it has so many names, this belt. The undisputed WWE Universal Championship match, fatal four-way match between Randy Orton, AJ Styles, LA Knight, and the champion Roman Reigns. So a very entertaining match. It's tough. You have to be if you're WWE, you got to be careful in these spots when a match follows up the Royal Rumble, right? Unless it's a huge name or two huge names or three or four, you got to be careful because the crowd gets so emotionally invested in the Royal Rumble matches that if you have a dud of a match afterwards, it's not fair to the competitors that come on after. But these four guys put on a great show, and Roman retains the championship, not much to the surprise of anybody. We all knew he was going to retain it. There was a small chance, very small chance. A lot of people thought maybe Randy goes over here and they give him the belt, but it was too quick of notice for Roman to maybe drop the title here at Rumble. I don't think WWE is ready for him to drop the title at all. So, LA Knight put on an amazing show. Out of the four competitors, he looked the best in this match. Hopefully, moving forward, they don't start to forget how popular LA Knight is. I think out of the four guys, he did get the biggest reaction from that Florida crowd. So what we have, the WWE just cannot forget that they have lightning in a bottle here with LA Knight, and they cannot let him just fall by the wayside. This guy is a talent, and he could be the next face of this company if they just do the right thing by him. Orton put on a good spot with the RKOs towards the end. Styles kind of just felt like he was there. Coming back from injury, it kind of felt like he was just thrown in this mix. And, for this being like a no disqualification match, I thought there'd be more no disqualification tactics in these matches, but it was pretty much the fact that Solo Sikoa came out and helped Roman not lose the match. Obviously, typical Bloodline stuff. And Styles was the only one who brought like a chair in the ring and started using things other than his fists and his legs, right? He started cheating a little bit with the chair. But other than that, Roman kind of, other than the Solo stuff, Roman did kind of win the match on his own. This wasn't like typical Bloodline lay the guys out completely and then Roman takes advantage. No. There was still a point in time in this match that you felt Roman could lose the match. But this match was really good too. I'm not mad that Roman won. I do like the fact that they're still continuing out this very long title reign from Reigns, and the WWE put themselves in a really The WWE now has put themselves in such such a spot where whoever beats Roman Reigns for the championship, it has to be monumental. So it has to be Cody Rhodes, or it has to be The Rock. It has to be somebody monumental. No. I don't want The Rock. As much as I love The Rock, as much as I'm an Attitude Era Marcus fan, I don't think The Rock should win the title from Roman, but it has to be something along those lines of monumental. So if that's Cody, yes. If that's Punk, maybe. But Cody's the guy who really needs to take that title from Roman Reigns. So, that match to me, I'm not giving, again, grade-wise, I'll probably go another A- because I was very entertained during the match. And speaking of entertained, now we go into the next match, which put itself in such a bad spot. You had the Women's Royal Rumble, exciting. You had this Fatal 4-Way match, exciting. And now you got this United States Championship match. And I'll be completely honest, I couldn't tell much from me watching it, but the crowd did not seem into it at all. Maybe for some spots, maybe for the Owens entrance, but the crowd wasn't even booing Logan Paul at a certain point, which they love doing. The match was just sandwiched in between the women's, the Fatal 4-Way, and the Men's Royal Rumble, and then here you go, here's the United States title. That really didn't mean much in this match, and if I had the choice, I would have rather just had Kevin Owens and Logan Paul in the Royal Rumble itself, which we'll get to. But not like the match wasn't good, but you could see that Kevin Owens, you could see that Logan Paul just cannot face Kevin Owens one-on-one, and he has to go through these tactics, and he has to win somehow. He does the thing now. He's starting to do that thing now where one of his influencer friends are in the crowd and they start to come in and help him win the match. You saw it with KSI. You saw it with his brother, Jake Paul. So that United States title, I think, is set up for LA Knight to win at WrestleMania. I think the Kevin Owens stuff will maybe he'll have one more match for the belt, but I think that's an LA Knight title waiting to happen. So hopefully they could get to Mania without Logan Paul losing that belt. So we get to the main event of the night, the 30-man over the top rope men's Royal Rumble match. I'm just going to I'll start off before I get into the details of the match. I'll start off by saying, as a whole, this match was very, very underwhelming to me. I'm not saying that I'm a guy who needs to have 15 surprise entrances, 3 legends, 5 call-ups from NXT. I don't need all of that, okay? What I do need, though, I do need for you to keep me engaged as a fan, right? I don't need to see, not again, with the whole Vince McMahon stuff and the Pat McAfee entrance, which everybody's on board with, which was really stupid and such a waste of a spot. You could kind of count this as a 29-man men's Royal Rumble because they wasted one entire spot. I don't need to see certain people in these matches anymore. I'm tired of watching these Royal Rumble matches and seeing guys, again, I'm tired of seeing guys that just have no purpose of being in this match, right? Just a few I could think of. I'm just going to read off a list of the guys where the WWE could just do a better job of finding guys to either come back for one night or just give us people who are realistically have a shot at putting on some sort of a show, right? I don't need to see. Let me go over the list first. Jimmy and Jey Uso starting the match. Loved it. Setting up their match for WrestleMania. I get it. Awesome. I don't need to see Grayson Waller in the Royal Rumble. I'm just sorry. Maybe people like him. I don't happen to like. I think he's just a waste of time. The crowd just became completely dead as he's trying to make jokes in the entranceway. It just was not working. Andrade coming back was a nice surprise. You heard rumors of it. So I have no issue with Andrade. Carmelo Hayes, love seeing him. He debuted on SmackDown, I think the previous night. So I like seeing him. So guys like that. Shinsuke's good. Escobar's good. This guy, the WWE is just never going to understand the whole Karrion Kross experiment. It's not working with this company, okay? They let him go for a reason. They bring him back. They repackage him. He goes out again. They bring him back again. They repackage him again, and now they got him in this. They got him in this faction with, again, his wife Scarlett. They got him with AOP. It's just not working. The crowd is dead when the guy comes out. The crowd just goes away. You want cheering or booing. You don't want silence when you're a performer. Karrion Kross with the WWE has never recovered from that initial call-up that they gave him a few years ago. It's not working. They're trying to do so much with Karrion Kross, and it's just not connecting. And maybe it could just be my opinion, but when I watch these things on TV, I don't hear crowd reaction. And it's getting very annoying to watch with this guy. They're trying too hard by trying to package him. Maybe I think it's because Triple H had liked him a few years ago, and he's trying to see what possible ways he can make him popular, but it's just not working. Dominic Mysterio has to be in there, so I like him. Huge heel. Nobody likes him, which is great. That's what you want. Unlike Karrion Kross, Dominic Mysterio gets a reaction from the crowd. Lashley's great. Loved having Lashley in there. Ludwig Kaiser, you have to have him in there with Gunther and all these other guys. Finn's great. Austin Theory has to be in there. Bronson Reed has to be in there. To me, this Rumble didn't pick up until number 15, besides 1 and 2 with Jimmy and Jay. This didn't pick up again from 3 to 15 that's when Cody Rhodes came out. Cody Rhodes brought some more life into the crowd, and he was like that first big name that opened up the eyes of the crowd. Bronson Reed, yes. Does he deserve to be in there? Of course. Kofi Kingston, based on longevity, deserves to be in these matches. Gunther coming out at 18, 100% deserves to be in there. I don't need to see Ivar from the Viking Raiders. I don't care how athletic he is. He's boring. He's dull. I'd rather see Chad Gable in this spot, personally. Chad Gable's more entertaining. Chad Gable's an outstanding wrestler. Chad Gable does more everything that you want to see. He gets reactions. Nobody cared about this guy coming out. To me, that's a wasted spot. The debut of Braun Breaker. So it seemed like Braun Breaker did everything that Brock Lesnar was supposed to do in this match, but Braun Breaker had a great debut. The crowd didn't really pop as much as I thought they would. I couldn't really tell. I mean, I had the thing on pretty high volume. Braun Breaker, I don't want to see him get called up to the main roster, and then the WWE just kind of doesn't know what to do, right? They put him in some sort of feud. With certain players, certain people, and it just doesn't work, right? This guy needs to build himself all around more to come up to this main roster and have an impact. You don't want to see him get called up and get put into a position where the crowd's not reacting and he's just kind of dull. The whole barking thing doesn't do it for me when he's in people's faces. It's just me. I have preferences, and the Braun Breaker character itself just doesn't do it for me. But maybe I could learn to like him a little more. I'm open to seeing how these guys evolve as performers. Almost coming out at 21, nobody could give it two craps about. This guy's a complete waste of the roster spot, a complete waste of a Rumble spot. Obviously, almost has put in these Rumble matches to have somebody like Braun Breaker eliminate. So, you get that big pop from a guy who's 7'3", 400 pounds. Yes, Breaker eliminates him. They're going to get a little pop. Him being in that spot, complete waste. Don't like it. You could have had some sort of legend come back in here, like a Rikishi, like a Bully Ray Dudley. You could have Diva, anybody, just somebody that the crowd would get a little excited for. They won't win, but the crowd will give it a little pop. The next one, the most egregious part of this Royal Rumble, was number 22 and having Pat McAfee just stand up on the ropes, come in the ropes, stand out back again, back in, like a complete idiot. I like Pat McAfee a lot. I like him a lot on commentary. I think what he does with WWE is great. I think his show on ESPN is very good. But that spot in the Rumble was just completely wasted. And it's not fair to the fans who watch these matches and pay the money to go see these shows when a guy like Pat McAfee steps up to the ring and doesn't even compete in the match. It's just a waste of a roster spot. And again, find somebody. There's a million legends out there that would love to come back for that kind of spot. You get them in there for 5 minutes, get them tossed over the rope, and you just give people that fan service instead of having this guy just not perform at all. it was egregious, and it's not fair to the fans that watch the shows. Now, that was the one spot that I was really pissed off about. Then again, another guy, complete waste of space, JD McDonough. Nobody likes this guy. Don't put him in the Royal Rumble. There's a million other guys in that roster that you could put in this spot. I'll go back to Chad Gable again. I'll go back to Otis. I'll go back to another guy from NXT. You could have had Trick Williams coming in this spot. You could have had so many guys, and the WWE just botches things when they put guys like JD McDonough in the Royal Rumble. Nobody cares about him. R-Truth, love R-Truth. You could put him in every Royal Rumble for all I care. This guy's outstanding. He's hysterical. He's before the show when he's doing the entrances, he's saying happy WrestleMania to everybody. He's just so funny. Then The Miz comes out at 25. Another guy in The Miz who he's done so much for his career. It's a soda. It's another guy in The Miz who's done so much, really evolved himself. He deserves to be in these matches only once. He's great. Damian Priest. I like Damian Priest a lot. I like the fact that he's the Money in the Bank holder and still entered the Royal Rumble. And then, boom, 27, CM Punk. Here comes the crowd again. Crowd got a little restless for a while. Punk comes out to a big ovation. Punk looked good in the matches. Then again, this is just my preference at number 28. 28 comes out. It's Ricochet. The crowd's dead again. Ricochet is an outstanding performer. Do not get me wrong. But if you're going to set up these Royal Rumble matches to where you want the crowd to be invested in like 20 out of 30 guys in these Royal Rumbles. In this one, to be honest, it was maybe 6, maybe 7 guys that the WWE fans were actually invested in and actually saying, wow, we're glad this guy's in the Rumble. And Ricochet, I'm sorry, but he's just not one of those guys. Maybe in the future, but just right now, it's not for him. Drew McIntyre coming out at 29, another one because you thought 29, maybe he stands a little bit of a shot. And coming out at 30, oh man, it pains me to say this, but I just felt the disappointment in the entire crowd when Sami Zayn came out at 30. Real quickly with Sami Zayn, the momentum of Sami Zayn is dead, right? The momentum of Sami Zayn's completely dead. That momentum reached its high fever pitch at Elimination Chamber last year when he fought Roman Reigns for the championship, right? I thought they should have kept that Bloodline story going a little more. They should have kept the Sami Zayn story going with the Bloodline a little more. And I think they ended it too abruptly, even though it went on for a while. They still had some juice left with that story. And after that night, yes, they give Kim and Kevin Owens the tag team titles, keeps them a little popular again, but everything's slowly been on the downtrend for Sami Zayn. And it seems like the crowd, when his music hit at 30, the initial part of the crowd was just not happy that it was him. And it took him like a minute to finally get into it with Sami Zayn. But the crowd, you felt it if you were watching this. If you haven't watched it, rewatch it. The initial reaction from that crowd when that music hits, you want the crowd to go. You want to see the reactions. It was a little more disappointment than anything. So, yes, Cody Rhodes wins back-to-back Royal Rumbles for the first time in 26 years. Him and CM Punk for the last 10 minutes of this match, outstanding. It was my favorite. Is my favorite time of the entire match was the last 10 minutes between him and Cody. Him and CM Punk. And I think the right guy won. I do. I know a lot of people wanted CM Punk to win, but I think CM Punk will still get that title shot against Seth at WrestleMania. The more I think about it now, I'll be honest, guys, the more I think about this now, I don't think we're getting Rock Roman at WrestleMania 40. All right? I just don't think it's happening. If you remember Rock Cena was a 3-year storyline where these guys, a year before they fought at that first WrestleMania, they started their verbal war a year before that. Then they fought the first WrestleMania. That's 2 years. Then the third WrestleMania is kind of where the story ended. With Cody, I mean, it could have started last year. It might not finish this year, but maybe you fight again next year, WrestleMania 41. I don't think we're getting Rock Roman at 40. I don't know why. I just have this feeling that it's going to be Cody Roman. And I think Roman wins it again. I don't have any faith in the WWE to give up that belt to Cody. And I don't think it's going to happen now, nor should it happen now, right? The main thing that I see happening now, my predictions moving forward after this Rumble was, I don't know what they're doing at Elimination Chamber, so we'll have to wait and see there. I think WrestleMania moving forward now after the Rumble becomes Seth Punk. I think Punk wins I think Punk maybe wins the Elimination Chamber match to get that number one contendership for Seth at WrestleMania. And I clearly think it's going to be Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes for the championship at WrestleMania 40. I don't think The Rock's going to be involved at all. I'm sorry. I think they're doing maybe like a 3-year buildup to where maybe Cody holds the belt for a little bit, Roman wins it back towards the end of the year, and then The Rock comes out WrestleMania 41. I think that's kind of where we're headed. If it is Rock Roman, I don't want to see a triple threat match. I don't think it's fair to Cody. I think Cody deserves that one-on-one shot against Roman. I don't want to see the 3 guys involved in the mix because I don't know. I mean, Cody, they always said they both have historic families in these companies. So, yeah, obviously they could bring that into the mix. But I just don't see Rock, Roman, Cody creating as good a story as if it was just Rock and Roman or Cody and Roman. I don't see the point of having a triple threat match when one-on-one, I think the stories are better between 2 of the 3 of those guys. There's no reason for it. And again, you have to drop the belt. It's going to have to be to Cody Rhodes. This is exactly what the finish the story storyline would be about. And then you could give Roman some time off and just have him and Rock kind of meet each other again towards the end of 2024 or getting into WrestleMania season 2025. It's not that big of a deal. We've waited longer for things, so it's not I know we live in this world where everything has to happen like this, but we've waited longer for less. So let's just see where we can go with that. That's Royal Rumble 2024, my results, my reactions to that. If you guys like this, share this video, please. We're growing very slowly on this channel, and we just want to continue doing it. And if you guys, we have social media. I left the links below in the descriptions. If you guys want to share or comment on this video, till next time.